Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kevin with Robertson's Power and Sports. If you're new to the channel, please be kind and like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that. Today, I want to show you the all-new 2022 SKIDOO Renegade Enduro 900. Let's check this one out. All right, so for many of you who are familiar with SKIDOO, you're probably going to remember the model of the GSX back a few years ago. That went by the wayside, and we now have what we call the Enduro. So for those of you that aren't real familiar with the Enduro, this here is probably the #1 sought after sled as far as trail riding goes in comfort, okay? This sled here is really good for the person that wants to go out, put a bunch of miles on, be really comfortable. I mean, we have all the creature comforts on this sled. You're gonna have air ride suspension, heated seat, just what really makes a sled be able to be comfortable for a long period of time, we have on this snowmobile here. So in my opinion, this is the ultimate trail touring sled. Again, if you're looking to be ultimate performance, not your sled, but overall comfort and just hands down, especially with the 900 motor, quiet, fuel economy, a lot of things that people are looking for in a snowmobile today, you're gonna find right here in this Renegade Enduro. So let's talk about some of the features on this sled. We've touched on it a little bit before, but a heated seat. A lot of you will say, nah, I don't need a heated seat. I was right there with you until I actually rode on one and said, this is pretty nice. How many of you have gotten in a vehicle that had a heated steering wheel? And before riding it, you said, nah, I don't need that. Then you get in, you grab a hold of it, you're like, ah, this is kind of nice. My next vehicle is gonna have that. Same reaction we get with these heated seats. Many people, same thing, you know, nah, don't need that, get out and ride it. They say, wow, that's kind of nice. I wanna make sure my next one has one. So again, one of the real nice features with that, air ride suspension. We can adjust this on the fly, right through the handlebars. We're gonna be able to soften or stiffen that rear suspension based on conditions that you're currently facing out there on the trail. The other nice thing about this being a 137-inch track is this is a perfect candidate to go ahead and put what SKIDOO calls their 1+1 seat on, which will enable you to have a passenger on the back. So the nice thing with that air suspension is if you do go with that 1+1 seat, when you're gonna put the passenger on the back, we go ahead and stiffen that air shock right up to help compensate for the added weight on the back of the machine. So you're not gonna have to get underneath the machine, wrench on it. You're gonna be able to do it all right from the push of a button. The only thing you may have to do is just tighten up those torsion springs. That's about it. So this machine here, we've added a couple of accessories on it. Went ahead and put a nice set of mirrors on. We've talked about mirrors in the past. In my opinion, this is the best mirror that you can get from SKIDOO based on its field of vision. It's just a nice big mirror. You're gonna be able to see you know, who's behind you and be able to really keep an eye on them. So I really like that mirror from SKIDOO. We've also gone ahead and added a set of the tunnel mount ice scratchers. We've talked at length about these before, but I'll go ahead and show you. They're mounted right here. These are reversible, so you can back up with them without worrying about damaging them. So leave these down all day long if you'd like. Easy to deploy, just lift up, push down, they're spring loaded. You got a replaceable tip on there, so as that tip starts to wear down, I'm talking about is right here, you can go ahead and get a replacement set for them. Just one single set screw in the back. Go ahead and lock it down. You get yourself a new set of tips. And when you're not using them, they stow up out of the way pretty easily there. The other thing that's gonna come standard with the Enduro, and this year it's a little bit different. We've talked about some of the supply issues as far as tracks go, but normally this sled does come with an ice ripper track on it. For those of you that are not familiar with an ice ripper track, come on in, Tristan, I'll show what we're talking about. You're gonna see we have little studs that are built right into the track. So these studs here, for those of you who have ridden a sled with conventional studs, this is not gonna replace a conventional stud by any means, but it's better than no studs at all. So if you've never ridden with studs and you buy a sled that has one of these ice ripper tracks, before we just go and stud it, my suggestion to you is try this sled the way it is. You may like it. You know, why spend all that extra money right out of the gate for? Let's give this thing a try. If you don't like it, you feel like you need a little bit more traction, we'll go ahead and stud it after. That's not a problem. So again, my suggestion is, if you've always ridden with studs, do I think you're gonna be happy with this? Maybe not. Maybe worth a try, okay? But one thing, when you stud a track, there are risks that come along with that. One of those risks is throwing a stud through a heat exchanger, and then we have coolant on the ground, and that's never a good thing because that ends our trip short. So just a couple things to think about. Adding a regular stud, it does give more weight in the track as well. So by all means, you know, when you come into the store and we're gonna talk studs, we can have a conversation about it. And if I feel that it's the right move for you to do or not, we can go over all that stuff. The other thing that's standard on the Enduro is the adjustable ski. So with this knob right here, we're gonna be able to adjust the depth of the carbide and how deep it's cutting into the snow. So if you're out there riding and you notice that the front end just maybe isn't grabbing the way that you want it to, we'll call it a push. So you turn the handlebars, the sled does not want to turn, it just wants to keep going straight. We can make an adjustment right here, and what this is going to do is it's going to drop that carbide down deeper in the snow, and it's going to give us more of a lateral bite. So just adjust this down a little bit. There is a nice gauge right on the side of them to be able to make sure you have both sides set the same. That is very important, by the way, having both sides the same depth. Or in reverse, you know, you get going and you find that the machine is just real heavy in the front. It's a little bit harder to steer. We can go ahead and back these off a little bit. That way there, you don't have as much lateral bite. So my suggestion is, first thing in the morning on a freshly groomed trail, real hard packed, don't put these all the way down. You're gonna have way too much bite in the front. It's gonna be way too much effort to steer. Back them off. As the day goes on, the trails loosen up. You know, the snow gets more like we call mashed potatoes. You can go ahead and turn those down a little bit, get you a little bit more lateral bite for a better handling experience towards the end of the day. So again, all in all, great features, great options on the Renegade Enduro. One of my go-to sleds for the person that comes in and they say, hey, all I'm gonna do is trail ride. I wanna be real comfortable. This is the sled to go with. They got tons of options as far as accessories, bags, cans, to extend that trip even longer if you want to. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions at all, please stop by. Let's talk sleds. I love talking sleds. This is my favorite time of year for sure. Or give me a call at 207-324-5502. Visit us online at Robertson's Power. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.